I think we're live. We're live. Yeah. Hey, we're live. What's up, folks?
Johnny Five's alive.
To a new edition of So What I Missed, bringing you the news and the internets and the Pat just dropped from right when we went live. So see you later, Pat. So we're talking about what are we talking about? We're talking about the box office gross. God. We're talking about Black Widow. We're talking about new G.I. Joe toys. I think there was a new game system that dropped. Conor McGregor lost his UFC fight in UFC 264.
No, we're not talking about that. That's a different show, John.
Oh shit!
Did we saw that bit, Rob?
that took us a while. Look, Pat's here, but he's not really here.
Did you guys workshop that?
No.
I
wanted to, but John was like, "No, we're not doing anything even close to that."
No, get out of town. We got to do this on the spot. So, Pat's not here. So, are we still doing a show? We're still doing a show, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So, instead of saying what I miss, it's like, so what happened to Pat?
Pat's gone.
A new show.
Where's Pat?
I don't know. He's probably having trouble connecting his camera.
Pat's going to be like, so what I miss.
Which will be perfect. He'll be able to catch up by watching this.
I'm still here.
Okay, Pat's here. We can't see him. Okay.
I don't know what happened on the camera. I'm still here, and I can still hear you.
It's like we're being spoken to from above.
So
like, oh my goodness.
It's actually way funnier when Pat's just with us on audio. I feel like that should be his new thing.
Do you have a photo
of Pat? You talking shit about me.
It's like when people do podcasts and there's a random producer with a hot mic just randomly saying things like doing context.
Do you have a photo of Pat or a photo of something that we can put up and say it's representative of what Pat looks like?
I could definitely pull a picture of Pat if we wanted to do that.
We could do it on the fly. We're producing the show on the fly.
I can still hear you.
I know, but we can still talk like you're not here.
All right.
Anyways,
let's reel this
I see Jesse in the comments. What up, Jesse? Thanks for everyone that's joining us live. I think I'll just kick it to Chris. Take it away, Chris.
Yeah, welcome to our weekly news show, John. Pat's voice and Rob down there. Thanks for joining us, everybody. So we'll get right into, I guess, my favorite segment. I'm trying to really kickstart this. I don't know if anyone else even cares about it, but it's the box office reports. So Black Widow, hero posed into big and small screens this week. And, obviously took that's not the right week. Sorry, that is Black Widow on the top there with 80 mil. Now that estimate was 80 mil. So they got it kind of right on this estimate, slightly over. So those of us who said over last week when I gave the 80 mil over are correct. Now, I guess that's not the interesting thing. The more interesting thing about this is Disney reported that Black Widow earned about 60 million in purchases behind their Disney Plus paywall. Now, this is the first time they're reporting this type of number. Maybe because it was so high, they wanted to kind of boost their whole box
They wanted
office.
to flex.
Yeah. Seems like it. HBO Max isn't doing this type of thing in any other rental services, maybe because the numbers aren't so large. So we got kind of a pseudo $140 million opening weekend. This Disney volunteering this information. What do you guys make of this? Like, is it just a flex? Are they going to start doing it going forward? Does this confirm the viability of this kind of format of doing simultaneous streaming releases? What do you guys think?
I think it's a flex, and I got my camera working again.
Yay, Pat's back.
Wow. The reason is I don't remember them doing this for Raya and the Last Dragon. Yeah. I don't recall them doing this for Cruella.
Yeah, right. They might have been too early in the pandemic, though. They might be prepared now that numbers are starting to roll in that actually makes a difference and matters now. So I think it's interesting. I think, but Rob, hasn't a lot of this kind of streaming stuff always been hidden? Like Netflix doesn't fully reveal how many subs and streams that every movie gets, right?
Yeah, so that's always been the problem. Netflix never reveals any of their numbers. You have to rely on third-party data analytic companies to be able to kind of get a rough estimate of what the streaming numbers are. The reason why HBO Max doesn't do it is because it's like having Netflix. So they can say, well, 8 million people tuned in and watched it in its first weekend, but there's no economic value behind that because you're paying for monthly service for the entire portfolio. I think this is the first time that, this is the first time that Disney did it, as Chris said. I think the reason being is because I think there's a lot of trepidation with Black Widow as a property, and I think that they're trying to build on hype, saying, hey, this is still a relevant character. It made 218 international. It made 140 something domestic on a split. So it is definitely worth your eyeballs. So I think that that's probably why they released that figure. Also, we don't know what Cruella did. I have a hard time to believe that it would have even hit 25 million through
was
Disney Plus.
Paywall though? It was a
Disney Premium. Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I do think though, if this was not a Marvel property, it was just some other, maybe it was Jungle Cruise. Now maybe they will do it for Jungle Cruise, right? You never know. But listen, it's huge. It's 80% of what their of their weekend total. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a huge amount of money that they made based on their on Disney streaming services. So
yeah. All right, guys. Maybe in some, more as we shift to this week's box office, I'll report some local news for us, and that is Ontario is going to allow for cinemas to open again. I think it's, correct me if I'm wrong, 50% capacity. So we're going to see our Canada's vote in this domestic box office is going to start showing up at around 50%, I guess, for Ontario at least. I don't know about the other provinces. So
they're open.
Yeah,
they're open. Manitoba's going full open. Full 100% in the theater. So
so maybe in the weekend segment I'll ask what movie are you guys going to go see? Are you going to see something right away, or maybe wait down the line for something? So again, we'll wait for that at the weekend portion. So shifting to this week's box office, we have two wide releases. Not much hype on them. LeBron James' Space Jam: A New Legacy, and even me as a huge basketball fan, I'm not thinking that's going to be very good. Escape Room.
The soundtrack is crazy for it.
Escape Room Tournament of Champions. That's a thing, man. Apparently. That's a thing. I think that's a horror. Is that a horror movie? Has anyone even?
Yeah.
Okay. So that genre is known to perform pretty well in this pandemic box office. Now, I don't think either of these are going to topple Black Widow or even Fast 9. Maybe you guys want to offer a prediction of now what's usually happening is a movie will open huge, 80-70 mil, and then it'll drop drastically, like 60%. Do you think Black Widow will be immune to this, or you think Black Widow's gonna just drop down to maybe 10 or less than 20 mil this weekend? What do you guys think?
Well,
or you think Space Jam's gonna go up and take the top spot?
Black Widow's gonna drop, but to drop, like if you're saying if it made 80 million in the box office and you're thinking it's going to only make 20 million, that's a huge drop. I don't see it dropping that significantly. There will be a significant drop. I think you're probably looking at about 45% drop on that. I think Space Jam will do well, but
last week Fast 9 had a 67% drop off, and then this week you can tell from the chart it's 50%. So it's like dropping high percentages dropping down. I'm just Fast and the Furious and Black Widow kind of, I would say, the same tentpole type movies. So
but it's also different. Like the people that don't really want to watch it, like if you didn't watch it the first week, would you not? If you didn't watch it in the theaters in the first week, would you just not have gotten it via streaming? Why would you wait a week to watch it in theaters?
Well, Black Widow did this regardless of, I think it's day one streaming as well, right? So Fast 9 has no streaming option.
That's what I'm saying.
It's impressive. So Black Widow is in there. I think it's going to hold the spot. I guess it'll drop a little bit, but Fast 9 also has gotten a nasty rep of not being good. So unfortunately, most of us Canadians haven't seen it yet. I'm going to try and squeeze it in next couple weeks if theaters are actually open and it's comfortable. But unfortunately, it's got a bad rep of not being good. Whereas Black Widow, it feels like Black Widow is a little bit mixed, so I think it's probably gonna do well.
So then it's Space Jam. How is Space Jam going to fare this weekend?
How's Space Jam gonna be received?
From what I can see,
shaking his head. Is there a LeBron?
The critics are panning it big time. So.
Is there a LeBron hate factor as well? Some people who aren't LeBron fans might be like, I have no interest in this.
Yeah, I think so. He's very divisive in the sense that get into this whole sports argument about it. But yeah, it's basically you either like
Guess who's in
you
the
like
chat
LeBron or you hate LeBron, right? It's kind of like you like.
Oh my God! Please tell me that's Jeff.
It might be.
If I'm gonna talk about basketball, you should bring Jeff on. But yeah, so I don't know if there's that much hate. It's more of a it's just that it's not a good movie.
Well, but this is a situation again where you've got Space Jam is going to be in theaters. This will be the first movie in Ontario that will be premiering this weekend. You can actually go to.
It is day one streaming as well, though, right? In the US, I think it's
in the US, it's going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Will it be available to rent though in Canada on like say iTunes or Google Play? I don't know if they've confirmed that or not.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so before we move on from this, just a shout out to A Quiet Place Part 2. I believe it was released on
Amazon Prime.
Or Amazon Prime, and
it's Paramount Plus in the US and Amazon Prime up here.
Yeah, and it still did great. So,
yeah,
33 million, still trucking along, man. And I think it's a huge money maker for that studio. All right, so if you want to swipe that away, we can just get into the next main story. So, 2021 Primetime Emmy nominations were announced. Tuesday. Yes, I know we're all like huge awards guys, and I'll get to the point of why this is a story. But relatively young Disney Plus, had third most nominations with 71, and including and this is of note here, some acting or performance nominations for Olsen, Paul Bettany, Catherine Hahn, all getting acting nods. So this is like the first major awards. Like we'll set aside the whole, campaigning for awards and money being a factor here. That's a whole debate for another show. Let's just take these at face value in the sense that MCU properties are not known to get major award nominations for performances, for acting performances. Is this kind of like, and we've kind of just as Marvel fans and fans of these blocks, we've kind of ignored that whole thing. Now, is this kind of like the acceptance into that kind of fraternity for these types of acting performances and things like that? Is this a movement towards maybe an Oscar?
DC had that whole Oscar or Academy Award nominated Suicide Squad and all this kind of stuff.
So Academy Award winner.
Yeah, won one.
Yeah, I guess as true hardcore fans, should we care about this? Or should we start now that we're kind of accepted into this?
Like, I think fans of the MCU never cared about the awards to begin with.
Yeah.
So great, sure. It's great that they're nominated.
I remember as a young kid wanting to enjoy those type of award shows, but all the stuff that we watched would never be nominated. So I would be interested to hear from, I guess, the younger crowd. Us, we're older. We probably could care less about award shows now. We know what we like and things like that. Mm-hmm. But if these younger kids who like to watch these shows and stuff like that, I wonder if they're more invested now. I think that'd be cool. Like I'm still sad that I guess Dark Knight didn't get any kind of like Academy Award like nominations of the major characters and stuff like that. I would have watched the Oscars or whatever the hell it was that night, but now I don't watch any of them. So
it's not just MCU. The Mandalorian got nominated for a bunch too.
Yeah. I mean, like outside of you. People who play the Joker, you're not getting any kind of nomination. So, yeah.
Andre actually made a good.
Yeah. So
no, go ahead, sorry. Go ahead, Rob. Oh yeah, so Andre made a good point, and I totally forgot what I was going to say. So go ahead, Rob.
Andre makes good points all the time. Okay.
Give me a second, it'll come back to me.
Chris's question was about whether or not this changes things because no Marvel property has been nominated before, but this is the first time it's been a television show, right? I mean, unless you're going to the Netflix stuff, I mean, those shows were never going to be nominated for anything on those, not taking away from the acting of some of those characters, but it just wasn't. It doesn't surprise me that WandaVision was nominated. It surprised me that Don Cheadle got nominated for a 2-minute screen introduction. But again, WandaVision was just a very different show. So that does not surprise me. What they did, they totally deserve the acting chops. Now, to segue into what John was saying, we grew up and we're like, man, we really wanted these shows. I think now, though, we know, as John said, we know what we like, but we're also very diehard supporters of certain properties. I'm sorry for those who are Supernatural fans. You had 15 seasons of the Winchesters rolling around, but that was never going to be nominated for an Emmy. But if you're watching like The West Wing, you're watching The Wire. You're like The Wire is a show that has won a whole ton of awards and was never yet nominated for one single Emmy. Like there are diehard fans behind a lot of these properties. So I'm glad for those who are diehard WandaVision fans. I'm glad for those who are diehard Mandalorian fans that they're getting some love, and I hopefully that this helps infuse them for them to want to watch the award shows, because I think they are important, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, and I was picking strictly about like acting awards. I know there's special effects and things like that that always get put onto these big bunch of movies. Anyways, all right. So that's our main topic. Two main topics.
I remember what I was going to say.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, John. Breaking news, John.
I remember what I was going to say. Oh no, I forgot it again. No, what I mentioned to Andre was maybe all these shows are winning all this stuff because maybe everything else was just trash this season, and maybe he just doesn't watch any of the other shows that are on air right now to realize how good these particular shows are compared to everything else, right?
Well, you make an interesting point. I remember about 10 years ago, the tide started to shift from broadcast television nominations to like HBO. And you had HBO, you had FX, right? When you had The Shield was nominated, one of John's favorites. You started to see a bit of a shift in some of those premium cable shows. Now you're throwing in the streaming service shows. What's interesting is a lot of those HBO shows that have done really well in recent years, like Succession, they're not nominated this year because they took the year off because of the pandemic. The Netflix and streaming shows had stuff banked and were releasing them over the course of the pandemic. So a true test of where we're going to be on awards for next year is now that everything's back in production normally. Will Netflix, Disney, and those streaming services be able to be competitive with the HBOs and the FX now that those series are back shooting? That's just in this.
Yeah. Yes. I guess factoid is that HBO Max did lead all services with, I think it was 147 nominations or something like that, and then Netflix was, I think, just one or two behind that. Yeah.
Let me just say that like some of those the categories that the WandaVision is in the same category as like movies, because they don't consider it a true show. They consider it a limited series. So
I think it's anthology. Yeah, they call it
Paul Bettany is in the same category as Lin-Manuel Miranda in Hamilton, and the dude won like a Tony for it. So
yeah,
good luck.
I think it seems like limited series is the way to get like your person nominated.
Right. That's awesome.
Like,
all right,
you know what I mean? Like for some reason, Paul Bettany's in the same category as Lin-Manuel Miranda for his role in Hamilton. Okay, great. Good luck. Let's carry on.
Exactly. Yeah, and Rob touched on it. Don Cheadle getting a nomination for a 2-minute cameo at the beginning of a.
That kind of tells you though, like the fact that
that's how low the bear. That's how bottom of the barrel. I guess
that's how empty it is that they couldn't find anybody else, that they just picked Don Cheadle and said, "Thanks, man. Here's an Emmy. Here's a nomination."
Yeah. Well, with awards,
how do you feel?
You have to nominate. You have to like campaign. You have to submit it to the body or whatever, like the governing body. So they submitted Don Cheadle, and they were like, "Okay, fine, we'll take it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I look forward to if he wins, what his speech is when he goes up,
and it'll be longer than his actual game.
Yeah. He'll be like, "All right, I got to make sure this is under 2 minutes." So, thanks. Or I'm going to act on the whole.
He'll redo his scene.
Yeah. I'm going to react the scene right now. Okay, let's get out. Keep going, Chris. Sorry.
All right. Anyways, so those are the two main topics. Let's shift it over to Pat. What stimulated you visually this week, Pat?
Yes, visually. Well, this was actually happened last week. Let me just show you guys. This is hang on. How come it's not loading? Is it loading? This is The Rock after a gym workout.
Yeah. What's that guy in the bottom corner doing, sweeping up the floor?
That's his personal trainer. No. All kidding aside, this was from The Rock's Insta. This is like a behind the screen shot of the Black Adam movie.
Yeah.
Right.
No padding in that suit. Take that.
I know. Look at that.
Levi.
Take that,
no capes.
Shout out to The Rock. And
are you able to zoom up on that?
No, absolutely not, Rob. Come on.
Okay. So
you had to say enhanced. Enhanced
50%.
Okay. Well, you know what's really interesting about this is, as Pat and Chris have alluded to is that there's no padding. The Rock came out and said that they redesigned, or somebody came out and said they had to redesign the costume to remove a lot of that. So it makes you think, like, if it's like, is this like, it's skin tight practically? Like, I'm sure obviously there's a certain amount of sheen or rubber on the outside, but I'm sure it's probably super skin tight, like Lycra or like Lululemon type like bodysuit or
something. Rock is
something.
used to walking around half naked.
Right. So that's like, it's really interesting to see this costume, because that was one of the questions we had. Like, what type of costume are they going to put on this guy? Because all the MCU, the DCEU costumes, they all have got this padding, this fake musculature. This guy, you don't need to do that. What are they going to do? So it's really interesting to see how it looks so far.
Henry Cavill was pretty big. Maybe he didn't have much padding, but he was. I remember when he did Superman Man of Steel, he had the no shirt on at one point, and he's.
Oh yeah,
body was,
but he still
Henry Cavill is like lean. The Rock is like a rock.
He's a boulder.
Yeah,
he's a giant boulder of muscle.
Can you post a couple of pictures of rocks that you think look like the Rock? He's a rock. Get out of town.
All right, let's go. Next one.
Okay, this is just for John because he loves this stuff. I hate it, but look, John, it's your favorite. Tell us a little more.
What am I looking at here?
Yeah, so this is the new Super 7 G.I. Joe Ultimates line. So Super 7 has been picking up a lot of the licenses. They are published by other toy companies as well, but they seem to kind of always do this very retro-inspired lines where they make the toys look really, really like their old counterparts or animated series counterparts. Like I think that Duke is more reminiscent of the actual cartoon than the action figure. And the Snake Eyes, I think that's an early version of Snake Eyes with the blue and the red and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited for this. These are premium figures though, so they are a little bit more expensive. They're going to cost you about double the price of a regular Hasbro $30 guy. But you get a ton of stuff. You get multiple heads, which I really like. I'm really crushing on that bat though. That bat looks awesome. I'm looking forward to having a bunch of those guys. So
that one comes with a dog, man.
It's like that's the Snake Eyes comes with Timber.
That's Snake Eyes. That's Snake Eyes Wolf.
Okay,
that's Timber. That is Timber. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are pretty cool. Like, all kidding aside, I personally don't like G.I. Joes at all, but as a fan of action figures, I have to admit,
how dare you?
They look kind of cool.
I like Cobra Commander comes with the binoculars, and he's supposed to hold it up to his a metal face,
as if he can actually see through them. I don't know. But
because binoculars actually have to be right on your eyes. I don't know.
Look at that. You have a snake. So I'm pretty sure as a store we are getting them. Yes, these are the Super 7.7-inch action figures. Somebody asked about it. So
if you're a fan, that bat is a must-have, man. Look at that thing.
Yeah. And Snake Eyes back in the day, the early animated series. Remember, he got irradiated. Rob, I don't know if you remember. He got hit by like radiation trap, and then he walked it off. No, he walked it off.
Yeah, he walked it off as if like it's what your parents would tell you if you sprained your ankle playing sports. Walk it off, you'll be fine. And that's why we all did it, because Cobra Commander.
He literally went into the Arctic and walked it off. So Snake Eyes is a G.
You know what though? This really makes me kind of want to watch the G.I. Joe movie. For whatever reason, these toys, like seeing Cobra Commander like that, elicits my desire to just throw in the original G.I. Joe movie. I don't know why. It's been years.
Snake Eyes with a rocket pack.
What? Why Snake Eyes with a rocket pack?
Is that
all the Joes had rocket packs in the early season?
Yeah, they did.
Early season, but the intro. In the intro, they put on rocket packs and they'd fly up. I don't think they ever had them in the actual episodes. I could be wrong, but funny times.
Yeah. And the last big thing I want to share this week, if we're done talking about G.I. Joe, John, are we done talking about G.I. Joe? I'm going to give you a little more time.
Yeah, fine. We'll stop talking about G.I. Joe for now.
The last big thing that was actually recently just announced is this.
Ooh.
What is this?
So as a response,
is it OLED though? Is the question.
I don't even know if John saw this yet. So earlier today, Steam introduced. I don't know, Chris. Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know. I know it's called the stack.
Perfect.
Anyways,
so Steam introduced.
Is it a hot water heater?
Handheld. Steam, shut up, John.
Is it a snow cone maker?
They reintroduced their version of their handheld system. It's called the Steam Deck, I believe, and it's basically a Switch, right? As you can see, what it looks like a Switch, right? But the difference is that you don't get to, you can't, you can still dock it, right, into a dock to let you play things on your TV, but it's supposed to be linked to your Steam account. So if you have a lot of Steam games and you buy a lot of Steam games,
who doesn't have a ton of Steam games they've never played before?
You can play your Steam games on the run and via Wi-Fi.
That is very cool.
But it's very, very cool. It's actually really, really expensive too. But Rob, you're saying?
Well, I was gonna say the interesting thing is I mean the design is a little bit kind of wonky, to be honest with you. But I will say I like
thumbsticks is really up there.
But I like the trigger pads though underneath the grip. That looks pretty sick.
Giant's hands, yeah.
It's like
I mean, people are saying that they're releasing this as kind of like a screw you, or they're releasing it now because our friends at Nintendo did that terrible reveal last week, right?
So this is their way of just dunking on Nintendo and saying this is how you reveal a system,
right? Now, I mean, you still need to have a Steam account and download all these games, but it looks it looks kind of cool. But you guys are right. If you see the placement of these buttons up here, like if you look at the thing, the buttons are way up. And you have that little like up at the top right, and then there's these like touchpads in the middle. That's kind of cool. But
Steve mentions those two rockers on the bottom corner, which are typically affiliated with this company called I think Scuff or whatever. And it's kind of like a cheat. You would be able to program them as like reload or whatever, or jumps or things like that.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be kind of like a small computer, right? So like a temp pad. But yeah, like
so. Can I say? Do you know? When you just said, Pat, that those were touchpads on the sides, I didn't know that. You know what I was going to suggest? I was like, well, maybe those are grips. No, grips for like the inside of like your thumb area here when you're holding it, because
rest your thumb while you're
worst designer ever. Rob's the guy in that room who's like, can we add more grips to this thing?
Right? Like, you know how on your PS5s, you have this middle thing that lets you move. I'm guessing that's what this is.
Rob knows what a touchpad is.
Yes, I know.
I don't know.
However, he's trying to Homer Simpson card.
Has he used the laptop before? Yeah, of course.
Can I get a rain shield on top so when I'm playing in the rain, it doesn't go to
show Rob that I have a PS5 controller.
Yeah, I know. What a prick. Nerd. Now, my question is this. Will this run my ICQ chat account? Is what I'm asking.
It probably will not.
Oh, damn it.
Is your ICQ chat account linked to your Steam account? If so,
I don't have a Steam account. So this is irrelevant for me.
Not for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a $400 system for 64 gigs of storage. Just getting that out there right now.
Maybe it's just a prototype, and they're gonna.
That's pretty expensive to be able to like. Yeah. So yeah, you're looking at about $550 Canadian. That's a lot, man.
Yeah. For a system but Steam games are really, really cheap. So
yeah, it's like an endless library of Steam games, and they're always going on sale.
And very, very often, Steam games are like $3.
Yeah.
So,
the king of sale games. So I'm interested.
But yeah,
you're crazy. You would buy that and you would be rocking that around? I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. I don't use the portable systems, but I remember a while back Steam made a Steam console. I don't know if it took off or not, but it definitely always had me interested. But I don't play anything, Rob, so I don't know. If you could run Netflix on that thing or something, maybe that's a game changer, because a Switch can't run Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever, right? So that would be interesting. But whatever, I have a phone too. I can watch on my phone.
I mean, there's always a debate: console gaming versus PC gaming. This gives you portable PC gaming, right? If it can run.
Right? The Steam library is extensive, so it's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, it's going to have its fans. It's going to have its purchasers who just really enjoy that whole network and want to have a portable ecosystem. So I'm happy for them. Yeah. It's just, I'd be more happier if those were actually grips to ensure that this part of my thumb doesn't slide off the controller.
I mean, maybe they leaked these pictures or whatever, released it.
Because if you think about it, if you're holding it, that means this part of your thumb is going to keep hitting the touchpad while you're using the joysticks, and so that's problematic.
Also, in case I know Steve was asking, but it's a custom Steam-based OS. It's a Steam OS, So you have to use Steam.
Oh, interesting. That might be kind of cool then.
I mean, there's probably going to be geniuses that can hack it and put in whatever you want, right? Because it's just a computer, right? But the base is a Steam OS. So sorry, Rob, you don't have Steam, you can't use it.
The account is free. Yeah,
you can sign up for
my
free.
Heart.
Yeah.
Be still my heart, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Back to you, bud.
Thanks, Pat. That's Pics with Pat. Now we're going to get into the news bits. First bit of news, I guess I got to warn everyone, potential Loki spoiler alert. So, if you want to mute me, when I wave my hands again, that's when you can unmute. But
can I mute you?
I won't get too into the spoilery stuff.
You haven't seen
Did you not see it yet?
I haven't seen it. Oh, you haven't seen it?
Oh, no, I have. I just wanted to mute Chris.
Anyways, and I won't get too into it. Look for the review of it for the main Heroes World podcast. Okay, fine. There's going to be a Loki season 2. Now we kind of knew already there was going to be, the filming was set to be started in January, but this is the official. I guess you got end credits, and then there's a Loki will return. So we got official confirmation there's going to be a Loki season 2. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about that, but this is the first confirmed season 2 of one of these Disney properties. It's not an anthology; it's going to be a thing. But one big thing about it is it's going to start filming in January. You got a typical maybe 1 year turnaround post production. You're probably not going to see this till like 2022. So you got Tom Hiddleston playing Loki for at least 2 or 3 more years. So, anyways, that's the news for that.
Great. Another 6 episodes of me falling asleep.
Hey.
You can unmute spoilers. So next bit of news, tying into Disney Plus and these Marvel series, is the director of WandaVision, Matt Shakman, is going to direct the next Star Wars or Star Trek. Oh my goodness.
I
made the classic mistake. The next Star Trek film
God.
is going to be directed by
There's going to be outrage.
Oh man,
we're outraged.
Yeah, coming off the 23 Emmy nominations you got for WandaVision, the same director is going to do the next Star Trek movie. There's some news there. It seems like they've been trying to get this next one off the ground for a while. Even Tarantino was rumored and things like that for a while. So now we got confirmation on who's going to run it. Netflix staged WitcherCon. This is news for Andre specifically. WitcherCon. This week, whatever that is. I guess it's their own kind of thing for Witcher news. We got a season 2 trailer and a release date for season 2, which is December 17th of this year. So there's some news there. Netflix is going to offer video games within.
Wait, we're not going to sing the song? Toss a coin. No? All right, fine. Never mind. Keep going.
We even cleared that. We don't have the copyright for that. Netflix is going to offer video games, according to someone close to the situation, within a year, apparently. And it's going to appear in your Netflix guide under genres. So you're going to see, comedy, action, and you're going to see video games, So there's that. I guess, people run Netflix on a lot of very jank hardware and things like that. So I'm guessing it's going to be like browser-based kind of stuff, or maybe cell phone style. Or
so I'm gonna play pool on Netflix.
Whatever you watch Netflix on your smart TV, you're gonna be able to play video games through Netflix, I guess, on that. Or maybe it'll be platform specific or something. I don't know.
This is interesting because I wonder. Wait, sorry, with an extra charge or no extra charge?
With no extra charge, they're saying.
It'll be interesting to see what type of games, if it's just going to be like.
It's on the house for you, Rob.
I feel like Among Us is like their blueprint. A game like Among Us will probably be like their blueprint, I would think.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, if it's we all saw what happened with Google Stadia and the problems it had connecting to their servers to be able to have the games function well. So hopefully, Netflix has figured a way out. Maybe you can download them to your local system or whatever and play it off your Apple TV or whatever you're using. But if they're going to kind of model the same way that Google Stadia did, that's going to be problematic, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Wasn't that Strata? I thought it was Google Strata.
Strata, Stadia, whatever. Doesn't make a difference. It was shit.
Yeah,
nobody got it anyways.
Yeah.
No one knows what it is. No one's even going to correct you.
You can't tell me they're going to have like The Witcher available for you to download on your TV and play.
No, unless it's going to be like a remote play situation where you're like it's being played somewhere else and you're kind of just viewing into it.
It's most likely going to be browser based because I think a lot of those features like watching a group or stuff like that on Amazon and all that, it only functions on your PC browser. So I suspect the video game stuff is going to be unless they start selling a Netflix. I feel like I would buy it just for kicks, a Netflix branded controller, but whatever.
I don't know. We'll see how this venture goes because I guess they're trying to up subscriptions. Another feature to add. Than just endless content that we haven't seen. All right, so next bit of news: Suicide Squad, the new James Gunn Suicide Squad. The reviews are in, and they are generally positive. Words like genius, hyper violent, and like James Gunn has done it again. Has kind of been thrown about. So
all your typical taglines.
Yeah, and in an interview, James Gunn actually revealed that WB asked very nicely that if they could include Harley Quinn in the movie. To quote him, he says, "When Warner Brothers said they wanted me to do this, I watched the first movie for the first time, and I called them back and said, 'What do I need to keep for this movie?' And they said nothing, but we would love it if Margot was in the movie as well." So they kind of asked him nicely to include Margot Robbie. So it seems like James Gunn kind of wanted to kind of separate himself from the original, maybe not make it a direct sequel. And then he kind of, I don't know, caved or just gave in.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think
let
James
WB
Gunn
have its thing. Yeah.
No, James Gunn, I think he would have. They gave him like carte blanche to do whatever he kind of wanted to do. Yeah. I think that if he said, "You know what, I don't really have a place for her," they would have said, "Yeah, not a problem." Yeah. The fact that he brought back Joel Kinnaman as Flag, Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang, which is funny because you don't really see him in a lot of promos. So I think, and Margot Robbie, I think it's just because he wanted to have. You don't need to have a connection to the first movie, but I think he wanted to play with those characters. I do think though that if if DC did ask him to do it, it's probably because this is the end of Margot Robbie's contract to play Harley Quinn. She said that she has no future plans to revisit that character at this time. So I mean that would be four or five outings for her, right? So she's kind of done with it, I would imagine. So it wouldn't, I
mean, alternatively, were you going to recast Harley Quinn? Because I think in the past, 5-10 years, she's become synonymous with Suicide Squad, right? Like comic book wise, TV show wise, she's on the cover of everything Suicide Squad related. So unless you're going to recast Harley Quinn,
what about your girl, Kaylee Cuoco?
Well, I mean, let's be honest now. She is just the voice.
I think she could do it.
She doesn't look crazy enough, which is ironic.
Well, listen, you know what though? Apparently, she Margot has come out and said this is the most fun I've had portraying this character. She's had 4 kicks of the can. So maybe we see a completely different spin on how she does things, right? I mean, you'll still see the same mannerisms and the way she speaks is obviously going to be the same from all her portrayals of the character, but maybe it's going to be a lot different. I'm, for one, am super stoked to see this movie.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
Don't curse it, Rob. Don't initiate the Rob curse.
Well, we still haven't seen Green Knight and what's that the movie that people age on the beach? What was it called?
I think it's called Dry.
Old.
Is it called Dry?
Anyways, so we haven't seen those before. Let's see if the Rob curse stays.
No.
Yeah.
It's called Lost. Everybody.
Anyways, look for before this movie comes out. Look for us to do a Deadpool, a pool of who's going to die first and at what point, and we'll do a point system. That's going to be a lot of fun. If we're not going to do it, if John's not going to do it in a separate podcast, I'm going to shoehorn it into this one and make sure we do it, and that'll be a lot of fun. Okay, next bit of news: Antonio Banderas has joined the ever-growing cast of Indiana Jones 5, which is currently filming. There you go. That's for Rob because he's really hyped on that one. Deadline reports that HBO, The Last of Us. Oh, by the way, there's a Last of Us TV show, Pat. If you didn't know, if anyone didn't know, Pat didn't know, there's a Last of Us TV show, and I think it's starring the guy who played the Mandalorian. His name is escaping me right now.
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
Stop spoiling the games.
Anyways, the news is that Jeffrey Pierce, who played Tommy, if you guys remember, if you played the game, Joel's brother Tommy, is cast, but not in that role. He's playing a different role, but he's going to be seen in live action. Now, Patty, I think you have a picture ready for me. Titans Season 3, ahead of its release on August 12th, premiered a trailer, and the biggest bit of it was, I guess, showing the Red Hood is going to come and dispense his own form of justice on Gotham City. So now there has to be two parts of this story, right? You have to have Jason Todd getting murdered, right? But that's
no, absolutely not.
And then you got to have this guy showing up. Now cramming this into one season, a show of only its third season, like is that you guys? Now this is a big deal when it happened, right? This Red Hood thing, no.
In the comic books or what?
Yeah, in the comics, like we all know it's Jason Todd, and he's not actually dead. But anyways, it seems a little.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so listen, you're right. In the trailers, a 2.5-minute trailer, HBO Max release, we are not going to get it in Canada. If it goes to the first two seasons, we're on Netflix here, and we usually got them about 5 months after because they were airing every week in the US, and then we usually got it in January. So I think it started in like October or so in the US. So we might get it by end of this year, probably early next year on Netflix. There is a scene of Jason Todd getting killed. It looks like somebody who could be the Joker, the crowbar and everything. So you're right. It is fast tracking the fact that, you're taking the death of Robin and you're throwing him all of a sudden into the Red Hood. I don't know why they're truncating it. The show is actually not that bad. They got to trim some of the fat off it, 10 episodes or 12 episodes. It might be a little bit too long for the show. Yeah. They could really tighten it up, tighten the Titans. But it's not that bad. I would have liked it. I would have liked it if the Red Hood storyline was like season 4, let's say, but it is what it is. Yeah. I will say it looks like HBO Max put in a lot more money than because it was originally produced for DC Online. So HBO Max looks like it's dumped a bunch of coin into it. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of Teen Titans.
Spot your Toronto locations now.
Exactly. Okay. All right. Next big news. This is, potentially big news is we got our first Deadpool MCU crossover, and it was in the form of a trailer reaction to the new Free Guy trailer. Here's a picture of it. Now, I guess we can get a quick comment. Is this just because Taika Waititi, who plays Korg, is in Free Guy, or was this calculated? You think
it has to be calculated? The amount of effort to do something like this just for fun, no way.
and they're really horning in on our territory here, John. Trailer reactions, Ryan Reynolds not doing enough with his time here. He's got to squash us.
This guy can't leave anything for the rest of us. And also, they get to pause the video without getting eviscerated during their reaction. Come on, guys. That's not fair. But I'm not mad. I was busy grooving out to Mariah Carey in the soundtrack. So that this movie is for me. I think we should all go see it together in the theaters. I'll drive and I'll be playing a lot of Mariah Carey on the way there.
Yep, I'll walk. You know what? Listen, I think that the biggest of this is that people are calling it the Deadpool joining the MCU. Now, does this really make him as part of the MCU now? I don't know, but for what it's good enough for me at this point. It just kind of makes me want to see more of an interaction. So. Chris, did you say tit?
I might have.
Well, Rob just did now.
Is Chris going to blush? If so, he probably did.
Titty.
Is it what I tried to say, Taika Waititi? Oh, Waititi.
No, there it is. You just said Taika Waititi. I think that was all you said.
I just got updogged.
Different show.
Okay. All right.
So that's pissing everybody off today.
Yeah, that's pretty much the news. One last thing, I guess, is we kind of trying to pilot this trailer reaction every episode. It's kind of cool. So there was something that was released just a couple hours ago. It's the Why the Last Man teaser. Not really any footage of the show, kind of like a teaser showing the premise of it. And this is set to premiere September 13th on FX and Hulu. I don't know what that means for Canada. Obviously, Rob will have that information closer to the date, I'm sure. Find out what that is for Canada. But this is a really old property. Like I think it was we discussed it before, 20 years old. They've been trying to make it for a long time.
That they used to affiliate Topher Grace with the lead role. And if you know who Topher Grace is, it's been a hot minute since he's been in the spotlight. So let's play this. Let's play this quick trailer, and then we can talk a little bit about Y the Last Man. So let's play it. In case some of you don't know what this is, I think it'd be pretty cool for you to see what it is. So let's go.
So yeah.
In one day, half of our world was gone. They were all gone. All except one.
I feel like they should start adding the logo "Sorry Canadians" at the bottom of that. Sorry guys, you guys are going to be in the mystery bag. But that was a teaser for Y the Last Man, a storyline in which all the men, or everything with a Y chromosome, get wiped off the face of the earth via some type of virus, except for one guy and his monkey. And the monkey is an actual animal. We're not talking metaphors here. So before Rob gets his joke in, anything you guys want to say about Y Last Man? Rob, did you read a lot of Y Last Man, or is it one of the books that you didn't get to yet?
No, I never got to it. I knew about it. You're right. They've been talking about adapting this property for eons and eons. Just quickly, I think that if it's FX on Hulu, that means in Canada, it likely won't be on Disney Plus. That means we'll be probably getting it on FX. So if you have to have a subscription to the FX network here to be able to watch it, but that will be confirmed in the coming months, I guess.
Yeah. Hopefully someone else will pick it up. Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, one thing about that trailer is those statistics at the beginning is really, I guess, an indictment on the amount of male domination in those fields. I think that was a little bit of a underhanded, or maybe not even underhanded, like a really obvious shot at that.
Yeah, but that was literally the design of the book, right? The book is almost 20 years old now. It came out like before DC fully absorbed Vertigo. So it was all these edgy style comic books, right? Like John would remember, like Transmetropolitan, Y the Last Man, like, Sandman, all that stuff that came out in the early 2000s, late 90s, the really, really edgy stuff that was like not mainstream. And I think this one actually is it was a lot of it was social commentary, right? Like because the book actually starts with all of these things happening, right? Like planes literally fall out of the sky because the moment every male died, 95% of all flights just fell out of the sky, right? Yeah. That was part of the story. And yes, I did read Y the Last Man, but
and it was how the world changed with no men, who's running politics and all that kind of stuff. Even what happens to all the supermodels, what do they do now and stuff like that. So it's a really cool book, and it is available in a lot of the nice collections now. Yeah. And it's been a hot minute since that book came out. Like I can't even remember the original release date of that comic. So I'm happy to see it finally see some light of day. Unfortunately, it has caused Brian K. Vaughan's saga to be severely delayed. I don't know when he's going to get back to the comic world, but I look forward to seeing this.
Yeah, looks good. And John got to fit Hot Minute twice into this podcast. Yeah. So good for him. All right, thanks guys. That's our little reaction to that. As I've kind of preluded from the beginning of the thing, for the weekend, I want to ask you what you're doing for the weekend. But I guess now the theater's open, Ontario. What is your desired movie to go see? Are you going to go back and see, or not back, but kind of in the backlog of movies that have come out? Are you going to go watch Fast 7? Jeez, Fast 9.
We're going to go back way back
and watch Fast 7, 8, and then 9 in the theater. Are you going to go see Fast 9? Are you going to see Black Widow? Are you waiting for a different property? Snake Eyes, like Sarah
says. Not this weekend. It's not this weekend.
That's next
on
weekend.
The 20-something. Yeah,
next
week's there. Next week's there.
Are you going to wait, I guess, or are you going to, for the property you want to come out, are you going to watch something now, and it could be something that's, already out or been out?
What are you asking us, for God's sake?
What are you going to go see?
What is your question?
I think his question is anyone going to go to the theater this weekend?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
This weekend? Or what's on tap for your weekend is basically he's going to ask.
What's the first movie you're going to watch?
Loki finale to your rescue.
Loki finale, I feel like everyone's definitely watching Loki finale. A lot of us have got Gunpowder Milkshake on tap, the new Netflix movie. We'll see how that works out. Karen Gillan and Paul Giamatti and Lita Headley, like a lot of heavy hitters. So we'll see how. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I'm sure if that movie's good. If that movie was on the big screen, I would pay to watch that movie.
We'll see. Watch it on your Netflix, Pat, and we'll
watch it first.
We'll look forward to your report back. So what am I gonna watch? Geez, I would love to go see Fast and the Furious, but I don't think I'm gonna quite be able to fit it in this weekend. So if I had infinite time or everything lined up, then I would definitely try and go see Fast and the Furious. 9 is what we're on now. And then definitely Rick and Morty, Chris. Rick and Morty lined up for Sunday. So we've had a couple really crazy episodes in a row. So we'll see what goes on. Let Rob. Rob, what are you watching this weekend?
Okay, so Chris, I still love you. I'm firing up Gunpowder Milk. Wait, you don't let me either. I'm firing up Gunpowder Milkshake for this weekend. I'm also finishing off For All Mankind season 2 on Apple TV Plus. If you have an option to watch that, it's definitely cool to watch. I will be going to see Fast 9 a week this Monday. I'm taking my son the day before we go surgery wise, so we're gonna check that out in Toronto. And I'm already gonna be buying my tickets for this weekend. They came out for Suicide Squad, so I'll be checking that out. So that's my whole weekend.
The Suicide Squad is not this weekend. You're buying your tickets from this weekend.
No, I'm buying the tickets. They're on sale now because they're on sale. So it comes out August 6th, I think, or whatever. So
Jesus. All right, that's some responsible planning, Rob. I'm very impressed. Pat, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fire up Gunpowder Milkshake?
I'm definitely gonna watch
sugar?
That. I kind of want to find I kind of want to go watch Fast 9 just because I miss watching an action blockbuster. Right, the whole 9 yards, like nachos, popcorn, weird flavored soda, candy.
Pat, what was the last thing we saw? Was it Bad Boys for Life?
It might have been Bad Boys, or it might have been the movie with Will Smith and Will Smith.
Will Smith,
which
Gemini
one?
Man? No, Gemini Man. No, I think
that was a joke because of that.
No, I think Bad Boys is newer. I think Bad Boys is newer.
That storyline.
That was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, Bad Boys.
Right, and then next week you said Suicide Squad, right? No,
Snake Eyes.
No, Snake Eyes comes out next week in theaters.
And then Jungle Cruise, and then Suicide Squad. Let's go. We have our weekends lined up. Jungle Cruise with The Rock and Emily Blunt. Let's go.
Shoutouts. Before the pandemic, me and Pat and sometimes Chris, and I would always invite Rob, but he'd complain about coming all the way down because we went to late night shows.
Because we play Mariah Carey in the car.
No, I never threatened to play Mariah Carey when we went to go see him. Every time I would invite Rob, hey, you want to come see?
He does. You do because you're like you have to be old dirty bastard. That's what you say to me. Yeah. No, every time you say I'm going to play Mariah and you got to be ODB, and I'm like, come on, I don't want to be ODB. And you're like, you have to be, and I said no. So
yeah, me and Rob go back like babies with pacifiers. Old dirt Rob ain't no liar.
And I'm not going to do that.
Chris, what do you got on tap?
Okay.
Shut up.
I'm actually 2 episodes behind on Loki, so I'll probably have to watch that to get
Don't worry,
up to speed with everybody. Apparently, there's huge things happening. That's all. When I was trying to look up news, I was trying to avoid the, due to the Loki finale, like this is leading into this, is leading to this, and leading to this. I'm like, oh man, this is like, I'm guessing something got crazy revealed. Anyways, look for
the only thing that was revealed was that season 2.
Spoiler alert. Anyways,
we talked about it already.
That's it for me. But anyways, that's what's happening on the weekend. Let's try to get Rob out of here before 9:30. What's on tap for this week, guys? In terms of podcasts, that is.
Oh, I was gonna say we just did that.
What are you asking me, Chris?
Okay, not you, Pat. John and Rob, what's happening on Monday for the Sidekick Show and the virtual podcast on Sunday? What do you got?
Yeah, so Sunday definitely we got going down a Loki finale / series wrap up going on, and we'll probably rank maybe our Disney Plus favorites or something like that. And then I think for the Sidekick Show, Rob, I think we are doing Watermelon Milkshake with discussion of Netflix movies overall. So I think that's a good topic. We can talk a little bit about everything. I don't think this movie is going to warrant a whole episode on its own, but we'll see. Rob hasn't watched it yet.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen a good chunk of it. I'm at the midway point, so
Watermelon
we'll see.
Milkshake?
What are we talking
Watermelon
about?
Milkshake.
Are you mixing it with that song?
Yeah, I am totally mixing with that song.
That's a Harry Styles song, man. I would know.
You sure it's a Harry Styles? I thought it was a Maroon 5 song. No. All right, fine.
The Watermelon song? Get out of here. You know I know my boy bands.
All right, and I believe the store is finally able to open to, I think, full capacity on Friday.
Oh, spoiler alert, Sarah.
Yeah. We'll see. We don't know the exact rules on that, so we'll be looking that up and figuring that out. But look forward to seeing a lot of people have dropped in since the reopening. So thank you very much, everybody. It's been a pleasure seeing y'all in person and things like that. So I don't know. We got anything else, you guys or Rob or Pat? Nope.
We have copies of Why the Last Man at the store in case you guys want to read it before the show drops.
Yeah. Don't let me talk anymore. Just go.
If you're looking for a weekend read, we have copies of Why the Last Man in trade.
Yeah, and you can envision if this movie actually happened a decade ago, Topher Grace, during his hot period. This is hot period, right? Yeah. That 70s show. What else was he slamming? Oh, Chris is gonna build a Die Hard puzzle.
Die Hard puzzle. Got it from Heroes World. So
yeah. All right. Corey's gonna project movies on it. Thank you everybody for joining us in the chat. It's always fun to chill with you guys. I think that's all we got for you before we start getting too crazy in here. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one. We didn't get to talk about Conor McGregor yet, but maybe next time.
I just want to reiterate, this is so true.
No, he did. He had a move. He had a couple movies, some teen pop romance movies.
He was in Spider-Man 3.
He was on right after that 70s show. I think he left that 70s show to do movies, right? And then that was his hot period, if you call that. No good movies.
That is like the worst character on the show.
All right, well, maybe we'll look up his filmography next time. But thank you, everybody. Rob's got to go. We got to go. Everybody's got to go. We got to go, Pat.
He did a recut of Star Wars, didn't he?
All right, bye.